All-Star Batman number 10, written by Scott Snyder and art by Raphael Albuquerque. And I'll admit, Albuquerque almost pulled me back in, but I resisted. Connor.
Okay, so it's set in like two time periods. We have a before and now. And the before is quite a bit before. It's set in London. And that stuff is police chasing this thief across rooftops. And, there's this symbol that keeps popping up. It looks like maybe it's to do with the base or what he's stealing. I'm not entirely sure. It's not quite clear yet. But this is actually an Alfred story. Obviously, it's called The First Ally. And, yeah, this is narrated by Alfred. It's from his point of view. It's interesting. And I actually... it properly gets inside his head, and I quite enjoyed that. Like he talks about how he raised Bruce. He calls Bruce his son in this narration, which is it's a nice touch. And but in the present day, they're chasing Hush. Hush is in a helicopter. He's stolen something, and Alfred is driving the Batmobile, and Bruce in the back seat, waiting to catapult up, basically. And they go to there's like a football stadium, I think it is, and there's a big game on. And Hush, he flies over the top, and they're like, well, we can't. If we go around, we'll lose him. And they go, right, we'll just go in the stadium then. And it's as they're singing the national anthem, I think it was, and he just actually, I think it might be baseball. I don't know, but either way. It's a stadium full of people. I'm just looking now.
Sporting stadium, yes.
Yeah. But he comes out through the tunnel that the players come out in the Batmobile, and then launches up into the air to grab onto the helicopter from just out on the stadium. It's a cool moment. But they've got Hush, and I think that's the first time we've seen him in Rebirth.
I think so. As soon as you had said Hush, I was like, Hush? Let's see how many ages.
He doesn't really have that big a part. He's just he's done something. And
he's just a generic villain from the chase so the story can play out that it's telling.
Pretty much. But it's nice to have Hush around again, I guess. I haven't seen him in a while. Actually, when was the last time?
And, not to harp on your mistake there, but football and baseball have completely different looking fields.
But you don't really see much of the field. It's just because it's all from inside the Batmobile, and then you look at the crowd from with the helicopter, and then you come out the tunnel, and then he goes up. You don't really see much of it. It's only as I'm looking closely I see, okay, I guess it's like I'm looking. There's one panel that goes, oh, I guess that's a baseball field.
All right, I'll take your word for it. But the action sounds fun, admittedly. I'm assuming Albuquerque is
he kills it. Yeah. It's the colors are fantastic. It's a lot of these really muted colors. There's a lot of oranges and reds as Batman's like getting angry, and when the tension's building up and he's like, right, shouting, I want to go to the helicopter. But then it cuts to they've got Hush and they've got him, tied down in a hospital bed, and they start threatening him basically for information. And Hush is like, yeah, what are you gonna do? It's a scalpel. Like I haven't done that before. So they basically go, yeah, but Alfred here, he's pretty good at this stuff. So he's going to make you again as a threat because the idea that he hates being himself. So he's going to, because at the minute he's Bruce Wayne again. I don't know what he was last time we saw him. Again, it's been a long time.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Did we see him in the New 52 at all?
I don't know. If we did, it wasn't a notable story because I don't remember it.
I don't remember it either. Yeah. Anyway, so they're interrogating Hush and they're threatening him, and Alfred is talking about how Bruce, he won't cross these lines even though he says this is the threat. But if he asked him to, Alfred, he would do it for Bruce. And it's really just getting into their head and showing their relationship. But then we cut back to this thief again. He's still running and. It's kind of a bit unclear what's going on here. It's proper old timey London, the big red buses and the police with the tall hats.
So I'm assuming it's Alfred as a thief in his old days.
Pretty much, pretty much, and I think that's new. I guess. I mean, what Snyder's eye changes these things and throws them in origins and stuff. I don't think Alfred was ever a thief.
I've always thought of him as being in the army.
Army and actor.
Yeah. Yeah,
And,
actors will.
and
Yeah,
and they talk about this actually because Alfred says how good Bruce is at theatricality, and he's like, "Oh, I hope he got that from me." Yeah, there's some nice little things in there that really are that. But Bruce goes off to this big base where people sell all these stolen goods because Hush, as Bruce, bid on this thing, but Gotham villains aren't allowed in this place because they'll bring the bat. So that's why he did it as Bruce. But then when Bruce goes in now, he's like, they think it's Hush. So they start shooting at him, and he uses this painting, which is built off a part of a ship. That somehow it's all ties into this pirate theme that's going on here, and it's part of this pirate ship. So it's reinforced with metal that was for cannonballs, so bullets are no problem. But then he runs out, and we find this symbol, and it's of course the symbol that we saw at the start with Alfred as the thief. And Alfred's like, "No, this has nothing to do with Bruce. This one's me." But so I'm actually kind of intrigued. I really enjoyed this issue, this story. I think I'm going to enjoy it. I mean, I can see why some people would be a bit upset with the Alfred stuff, and maybe it's like, oh, it's changing for the sake of it. But the actual narration about their relationship, I really enjoyed a lot, and that's the sort of thing that I enjoy. And obviously, this series does not have the best history with Alfred, given the very first issue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But this is maybe going a long way to redeem that for me, and put it in the right frame of mind. I didn't read the backup though, but it's it's not Duke anymore.
Is it not? Okay.
No, he did say in that interview where Duke's popping up though. I can't remember where it was, but he's like, "Oh, that stuff is going to be carrying on somewhere." Maybe it was in Dark Knights or it was somewhere else, but he mentioned it. If you want to go and look at the interview, you can find it. I'm sure the Albuquerque arc is fantastic.
Oh, I have no doubt.
It's worth reading just for that.
I have no doubt. I don't know if it is. Honestly, great art is great art, and that's fantastic. But if the writing annoys me, I can't get through it.